Hi, my name is Amaya. Today's October 15th and I'm doing my shoulder girdle humerus competency video. And so to start, here's the list that I will be using. And then I am at 40 inches SID and I am good to go. So to start, I'm going to be doing the AP view of the humerus. So I'm going to have my patient position her hand fixed through. And then I'm going to make sure that I am at the mid level of her humerus. And then I do need to flip my key so that I can make sure that I can column A up so that I can get everything I need. Open my light up just a little bit. And then I'm actually going to scoot this up just a little bit. And fix my key so it'll follow. Yep. And then I can put my key and close it back down. Alright, and then I'm going to be sticking my left marker because this is the left side. And then I'm going to have you hold your breath and exposure would be made. And now I'm going to be going to the lateral view of the humerus, so I'm going to rotate your arm to get that 90-degree angle and have the back of your hand against your hip. And so I do want to make sure that I'm still centered at the mid-level of the humerus, so I'm going to scoot you over just a little bit and then bring it down. And turn my key so that it will follow. And yep, and now I can turn my key back and get collimated. Alright, I'm going to just scooch my marker down just a little bit. And then can I have you hold your breath? Alright, exposure would be made. And now I'm going to go to the AP view of the clavicle. So can I have you scooch over towards me just a little bit? Stand straight, yep. And then I do need to make sure that I'm coming up. And then for this, I do want to be centered at the mid-clavicle. I'm going to feel right here. Yep, right there. And then I am going to close it in because I do not need all this light. Bring it down just a little bit. And then scoot you over just a little bit. And then I am still on the left side. I'm going to stick my left marker. And then can I have you exhale? And exposure would be made. And now I'm going to go to the AP axial. And so I do want a 15-degree angle. So can I have you rotate back and stick your feet out? Take a step or two. And then, yep, push back as far as you can. All right. And then I do want to move this down. Make sure that I'm still centered at the correct spot. Yep, I still want to push you over just a little bit. And then I can close it in. Down just a little bit. And then I'm still on that left side, so I'm going to stick my left marker. And then can I have you inhale? And hold. Exposure would be made. And so now I'm going to move on to the AP view of the scapula. So I'll have you stand straight up. And then get against the board. And then can I have you lift your arm up? And then we do want to add that 90-degree angle. And then I do want to be 2 inches inferior to the coracoid process. So I'm just going to move this out the way and feel a little bit. So it's right there. And so I just want to come down just a little bit. Alright, and then I'm going to push you over just a little bit like that. And then open my light up so that I'm not clipping anything. Bring it in. Just scoot it down just right there. Yep. And then I'm still on that left side, so I'm going to throw my left marker up. And then can I have you slowly breathe? And exposure would be made. And so now I'm going to move on to the lateral view of the scapula. And so I'll have you put your arm down and then you're going to actually turn around so that your right side is against the board. And just because I know that, I'm just going to throw my right marker up there just so I can already have it there for me to know. All right, and now I'm going to work on getting her angled. So I'm going to feel for that angle of the scapula. I'm going to come down, and then can I have you take a step up, please? Yep, and then just like that. And right there. And then I can actually collimate in And then I don't want to clip that inferior angle of the scapula either. So I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. And make sure that I'm still lined up. All right. And then can I just have you hold your breath? And the exposure would be made. And so now I'm going to be moving on to the wide view of the shoulder. And so for this one, I'm still going to have my right marker up, but, oh, actually, I did that view wrong. So I'm going to actually need to retake that. Can I have you grab this shoulder? And now I'm going to have you take a step forward, just a little bit, rotate you. Can you take a step forward, please? Yep, right there. And so since I do need to redo that with her arm on that shoulder, I'm going to have you hold your breath, and the exposure would be made. And so now I'm going to move on to the scapular Y of my shoulder. And so now I'm going to have you drop that arm down. And so I'm going to rotate you just a little bit, and then still be feeling for that view. All right, I'm good. And now I'll have you hold your breath again, and exposure would be made. And so now I'm going to do the AP oblique view, which is also called the grass view. So I'll have you turn with your back against the board. Yep. And then for this one, I do want to be 1 inch below the forefoot. So I'm going to move up. And then I'm going to feel that soft spot and come down just a little bit. And then can I center you over just a little bit right here? A little bit more towards me. Bring it down, and I'm going to be right there. And so with this one, I'm going to move because her left side is against the board. My left marker, and then close it in, and then I'm going to open it up to not clip anything and bring it in. And then can I have you hold your breath? And exposure would be made. And so now I'm going to do the AP internal view for her shoulders. So I'm going to have you straight up against the board. And then can you rotate your arm internally? Yep. And for this one, I'm just going to come up just a little bit. All right, and then I'm going to open it up just a little bit for that shoulder. And then can I have you hold your breath? And exposure would be made. And now I'm going to do the neutral view. So I'll have you hold your arm regularly. And then can I have you hold your breath? And exposure would be made. And now I'm going to do the external. So can I have you externally rotate your arm? And then can I have you hold your breath? And exposure would be made. And now I'm going to have you go on the table and lie down, because we're going to be moving to the infrasuperior axial, which is the Lawrence method. And then I do want to make sure that I switch this to the table and make sure that I get it to the image receptor. And then we still want to be at 40 inches, so I'm going to measure that out to make sure that I am at 40. And I'm not quite there, so I'm going to scoot this back and then get it closer to the table. Until I'm at 39, so I'm just going to go back just a little bit so that I can get to 40. And I am at 40. And so can I have you, yep, I'm at 40. Can I have you hold your arm out, please? And then externally rotate it. And I'm going to put this under your neck and kind of get this weight situated. And then I'm going to angle this so that I can, and then come down with it just a little bit, because I do want to be shooting into the armpit. Check that. Come over just a little bit. And then I am going to put my right marker up on the board and close it in just a little bit with the collimation. If my marker will stick. And then bring it over. My marker. All right, and exposure. Can I have you hold your breath? And exposure would be made. And